Good morning, welcome to Breakfast with Charlie State and Rachel Burden.
Our headlines today. Recognition for the unsung heroes of the pandemic as hundreds of key workers and volunteers get awards in the delayed Queen's Birthday honours.
Footballer Marcus Rashford gets an MBE for his work on free school meals and tells this programme he will keep campaigning.
It's obviously a nice feeling, but you know, for me the bigger thing is just helping the people that we've helped so far.
New coronavirus restrictions will be announced on Monday by the Prime Minister, with a three-tier system expected for the whole of England.
Good morning. Pay-per-view is coming to the Premier League from next weekend. Clubs have voted to charge fans nearly £15 to view some matches on top of their monthly subscriptions.
Changing Rooms, the programme that brought us astonishing designs and quick home fixes, is back. We'll catch up with two of the original team.
Good morning. Cool, blustery with plenty of scattered showers. That's the story today. Stay with us. I'll have all the details and also tell you if it's going to improve for tomorrow.
Good morning. It's Saturday the 10th of October. Our main story this morning. NHS staff, key workers and fundraisers who rose to the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic have been recognised in the Queen's Birthday Honours list.
They joined celebrities who also took part in the national effort, including the fitness guru Joe Wicks and footballer Marcus Rashford. Our reporter Anna Collinson has more.
Whether you're on the sofa, whether you're a kid, a teenager, an adult, getting up off your feet.
At a time when many felt isolated in their homes, they kept us company and kept us fit.
It's about feeling good, it's about being happy and positive.
For their live workouts during Covid-19, Joe Wicks and Mr Motivator are both appointed MBEs. The same honour goes to footballer Marcus Rashford for services to vulnerable children. The Manchester United star successfully campaigned for more than 1 million pupils to receive free school meals over the summer.
What I'd like to do now that I'm in this position is just speak directly to the Prime Minister and, you know, just really ask for the vouchers to be extended at least until October half term, because I think that's what the families need.
There are nearly 1,500 honours, including 6 SAGE members who provided scientific advice to the government. But it's frontline workers and volunteers who dominate. Unsung heroes like Laura Winningham OBE, whose charity has provided nearly 4 million free meals to those in need since the start of lockdown.
We were delivering to homeless shelters, homes for women fleeing domestic violence, homes with refugees, people that were destitute with absolutely no access to public funds or food. People were literally starving.
We're just on our afternoon walk around.
Nearly 60 frontline health and social care workers are on the list, including Felicia Kwaku OBE. A mentor to many, Felicia has supported thousands of nurses from Black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds who are particularly at risk from the virus. Felicia wants to dedicate her honour to her fellow nurses and midwives.
I clicked open the email and there is a letter that says that you have been awarded an honours. And I didn't scream. I'm still in a bit of shell shock now. For me, it's an absolute honour and a privilege to be a nurse. And I'm standing on the shoulders of giants.
Fundraiser 100-year-old Dabirul Islam Chowdhury OBE has walked hundreds of laps of his garden every day during the crisis, even during Ramadan when he was fasting. Who inspired you to do this challenge?
Tom Moore. He was walking and I requested my son, I can walk as well.
Like Captain Sir Tom Moore, Mr Chowdhury has raised money for charity, and like Sir Tom, it's been recognised by the Queen. With no immediate sign of an end to the pandemic, this list is just the start of honouring our COVID heroes. Anna Collinson, BBC News.
Well, it's not just the heroes of the pandemic who are being recognised. Stars from entertainment and sport are also on the list for their achievements over many decades. The singer Tommy Steele had his first #1 in 1957. He gets a knighthood for services to entertainment and charity.
And the actor David Suchet, best known for playing Belgian detective Hercule Poirot, has also been made a Sir.
And the icing on the cake for Mary Berry, the TV chef and former Bake Off judge, is now Dame Mary.
When I was first told that I was going to be a dame, you don't really believe it, and then it's so exciting and you feel very proud. And it's such a huge honour that you do sort of think, I can't ring mum and dad because they're in heaven, and my brothers are no longer here, and that's somewhat sad, but all the children are here and they are very exciting. They think it's quite fun, and I think they're quite proud too.
The Prime Minister will announce new measures on Monday to slow the spread of coronavirus in England.
Boris Johnson's chief strategist advisor, Sir Edward Lister, has written to MPs in the northwest of England saying extra restrictions in certain areas are very likely. Our political correspondent Jessica Parker is in London. Jessica, this is much talked about now, and we're pretty certain we have a date, which is Monday. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Monday is when Boris Johnson, we know, is going to stand up in the House of Commons and announce what is going to happen next. And of course, it follows days of speculation about the possibility of new restrictions. And in this letter that's gone out to MPs in the northwest, we hear it's very likely certain areas will face further restrictions. What's going to go on in the interim over this weekend? Downing Street's pointing to conversations it's going to be having with local leaders in affected areas to just try and help them shape the restrictions in those local areas. I think obviously there have been serious complaints from some local leaders that they haven't been properly consulted. So I think probably the government wants to get some buy-in from regional leaders, and of course that will help get the message out to local people. However, having said that, the Liverpool City Mayor Labour's Joe Anderson has been speaking this morning. He says that in reality the decision's already been made, that there may be conversations going on, but it's not really a consultation, and that he believes for his city in Liverpool that pubs will be locked down from Wednesday. There may be some sort of concession for restaurants to stay open until 10 p.m. Although he does say, however, he's been listened to on issues like track and trace in his area and on ideas around enforcement. But look, we're not going to get the final details in terms of exactly what will happen until early next week.
What we do know, of course, Jess, is that the virus is spreading. The statistics show that. We know that hospital admissions are up. There is enormous pressure to make the right decision now.
Yeah, and what is the right decision? You can find a kind of different set of views, can't you? Now, the British Medical Association have come out today saying they want to see more stringent measures applied nationally. They want to see things like replacing the current rule of 6 with a rule that only 2 households can meet. They want to see people wearing face masks in all offices and working environments unless they are working alone. And that is because they are worried about the spread of the virus. Let's have a listen to what they've been saying.
We're very concerned that the NHS is heading towards winter and will be overwhelmed with pressures, and that we now need to take decisive action, or the government must take decisive action to stem the spread of this infection. We know that the measures that have been put in place up to now are not working. If they were working, we wouldn't be seeing the scale of spread of infection. That is why the BMA is calling for additional measures that are stringent, that are adhered to, and can help communities safeguard their own futures.
Now, the Department of Health have been saying, look, this is a new virus that everyone is dealing with, but that so far they have managed to protect the NHS from being overwhelmed, and they have been guided all along by advice from the scientists.
Jessica, thank you.
Pubs across central Scotland closed at 6 p.m. last night, and they'll do the same for the next 16 days as part of new restrictions to tackle Covid-19. A protest against the measures took place in Glasgow, with bar workers dumping a large pile of ice outside the city chambers. Police Scotland said additional officers would be deployed to ensure premises comply with restrictions.
In Wales, the city of Bangor will go into partial lockdown this weekend as the government introduces new restrictions for 8 council wards. From 6 o'clock tonight, residents will not be allowed to leave or enter the areas without a reasonable excuse and can only meet outdoors. Bangor currently has around 400 positive cases per 100,000 people.
President Trump says he stopped taking any medication for Covid-19. He gave a TV interview overnight and said he'd pretty much taken nothing in the previous 8 hours. Mr. Trump, who is aiming to relaunch his campaign later today, was also asked where he thought he'd contracted the virus.
You know, I don't know. They had some big events at the White House, and perhaps there. I don't really know. Nobody really knows for sure. Numerous people have contracted it, but, you know, people have contracted it all over the world. It's highly contagious. That's one thing you learn. This is a contagious disease.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.